Glad to know you're still with us. Now to other news, where the Regulatory Agency for Universities in Nigeria, the National Universities Commission, NUC, has ordered the closure of universities across the country to enable students to participate in the 2023 general elections. In a letter addressed to vice-chancellors of all universities and directors of inter-university centers, the NUC noted that the directive was based on the directive of the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu. The letter noted that the 2023 general elections have been scheduled to hold on Saturday, February 25, 2023, for the Presidential and National Assembly, and Saturday, March 11, 2023, for gubernatorial and state assembly, respectively. It said, in view of the development and concerns expressed on the security of staff, students and property of the institutions, the minister has, following extensive consultations with the relevant security agencies, directed that all universities and inter-university centers be shut down and academic activities be suspended between February 22nd and March 14th, 2023. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, on Wednesday asked the Supreme Court of Nigeria to dismiss the suit filed by 3 northern state governments challenging the Friday deadline set by the CBN to end the legal tender status of the old Naira notes. The federal government argued that the Supreme Court lacks jurisdiction to entertain the suit in a preliminary objection filed by the AGF through his lawyers, Mahmood Magaji and Tijani Ghazali. Consequently, the federal government is asking the Apex Court to strike out the suit for lack of jurisdiction. In court filings dated Wednesday, the AGF contends that the plaintiffs have equally not shown reasonable cause of action against the defendant. On February 3rd, the state government of Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara had sued the federal government over the Naira redesign policy of the CBN. The state urged the Supreme Court to compel President Muhammadu Buhari, the CBN, and commercial banks to rescind the February 10th deadline for the old 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira banknotes as scheduled. We'll take a break. We'll bring you more stories after this. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, the Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle has described the comment trailing the decision of the Supreme Court to listen to and act on the demand of the governors on the Naira swap as mere political vendetta. Matawalle, who spoke through his special advisor on media, Zailani Bapa, said he was fully convinced that those against the governor's action and subsequent triumph at the court were either misguided or blinded by political chauvinism. Matawalle said he and his counterparts in Kaduna and Kogi State found it necessary to approach the Supreme Court to save Nigeria's economy from being plunged into more crises, adding that their action will also relieve the excruciating pain and ordinary Nigerians are facing in the face of scarcity of both the old and new Naira notes. The governor said it is common sense to say the CBN and commercial banks must make the new Naira note available from day-to-day business transactions before the old Naira note are declared illegal. He, however, expressed his dismay that due to myopic political rivalry, some political parties and disgruntled politicians were challenging the decision of the Apex Court, which was rightfully taken in the interest of the ordinary Nigerian and the survival of Nigeria's microeconomy. Matawalle says he believes that the decision of the Supreme Court judges on the matter was the best way to address the current problem and its impending consequences at the moment. And the governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, on Wednesday paid a visit to Gabriel Michael, who was hit by a stray bullet during the Naira fuel scarcity protest in Abeokuta on Tuesday. Michael is currently receiving treatment at the Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta. Protesters had stormed the Ogun State capital to express their displeasure over the naira scarcity experienced in the state and across the country. Addressing journalists, Abiodun implored residents of the state to remain calm and peaceful, saying the destruction of property is not the solution to the current situation. He said the government will ensure that all concerned issues are addressed to avoid further protest and violence. He blamed the CBN for the slow speed in replacing the old notes with new notes as the cause of the crisis, but said actions are on to ensure it is resolved. And former Deputy President of the Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, has denied offering money to a prospective kidney donor to save his sick daughter, Sonia. The lawmaker, his wife Beatrice, and their 25-year-old daughter are on trial in London for allegedly trafficking a young man from Nigeria to serve as kidney donor. The Ekweremadus were alleged to have offered £7,000 to the 21-year-old trader, who they flew to London and falsely presented as Sonia's cousin so as to obtain his kidney. In his opening addresses at the Old Bailey on Wednesday's, lawyers for the defendant, Martin Hicks, insisted they believed the donor was acting altruistically. Hicks said Ekweremadu did not attend any visits to Royal Free Hospital in February and March last year, which concluded that the donor was unsuitable. Speaking on behalf of Sonia, her lawyer, John Femiola, said she suffers from a very severe kidney disease and receives dialysis treatment 3 days per week. And the senator representing Delta North in the National Assembly, Peter Nwaboshi, who was convicted and sentenced to 7 years imprisonment 7 months ago by the Court of Appeal in Lagos for money laundering, was on Wednesday remanded in the Ikoyi Custodial Center to commence his prison term. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, stated that Nwaboshi has been on the run. EFCC's head, Media and Publicity, Wilson Uwojarin, in a statement said the lawmaker was intercepted by EFCC operatives at a hospital in Lagos on Monday, February 6th. The appellate court on July 1st, 2022, sentenced Nwaboshi to prison after it convicted him of 2 counts of money laundering. It also ordered the winding up of his 2 firms, Golden Touch Construction Projects Limited and Swimming Electrical Limited, under Section 22 of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2021, and their properties forfeited to the federal government. Wilson said the lawmaker, who was not present in court at the time of the ruling, went underground and refused to present himself to the Nigerian Correctional Service. And now to other stories coming from the Africa scene. Kenya's former Interior Minister, Fred Matiang'i, has sought anticipatory bail, saying he fears he could be arrested and arraigned in court for political reasons. His lawyer filed an application at a high court in the capital, Nairobi, seeking to bar the police from arresting or harassing the former minister. The court has not ruled on the request. It comes as police denied a reported security operation at the ex-minister's home on Wednesday night. Inspector General of Police, Japhet Kume, said the police force had not deployed any officer to the home of the former minister. But Mr. Matiang'i's family said a group of men who declined to identify themselves arrived at their home on Wednesday night and did not explain their mission, adding that the men took off shortly after the family lawyers and media arrived at home.